Hello, everyone, and welcome to Sweet Hand Caribbean Cooking with Sarina. This is Larry Familier, and tonight we have a special musical guest, Collis Duranty. He will be performing live. He's in Trinidad, and we also have a wine expert all the way from Hungary. So we're going from the heat to the cold. And before we get to Sarina in her kitchen, let me introduce the folks in the hangout. From my left, you guys right, we have Ferenc Zelenak, who is the wine expert. Hey, Ferenc, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you very much. Good evening, everyone.
Welcome, welcome. Next to Ferenc, we have George Cohen. Hey, George. George is from California, Mountain View.
Beer expert.
He's the beer expert. Next to George, we have Julia Senesak. Hey, Jules. Jules is in Colorado.
I am.
How are you doing?
I'm good.
Good. And next to Jules, we have Marilyn Ritter, who's also in Mountain View, California. Actually, she and George share the same house. And of course, before we get to Sarina, we have Pot Cam. That's where she'll be doing her magic. And of course, the musical guest, Collis Duranty. Duranty, sorry.
Duranty,
Hey.
yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. We can't wait to hear you perform. But
Thanks.
we also can't wait to see what Sarina will be cooking. So Sarina, tell us what you'll be dishing up for us tonight.
Okay, well today I have a vegan inspired Caribbean feast. I'm starting off with some cumin potatoes with orange and spinach. That's going to be in a mango chutney dressing. I also have a curried lentil soup, which I've already started on here. That's what this pot's bubbling right now. And I'm going to finish it off with kheer, which is an East Indian rice pudding. And I have some paratha roti warming up in the oven that I made up into the wee hours of this morning.
Wait. You made the roti? You didn't?
I made the roti. There are pictures and evidence to this in my profile stream. If you go right now, you'll see it.
You didn't go to Patraj and
I
Hot
did
Shop?
not go to Patraj. I documented it so that there will be
All right.
no doubt.
Okay, good. That I have to see.
That you have to see. Oh gosh.
No, I believe you. I mean, you cook brilliantly.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Well,
So,
what I have done here is I have my spices, as Jesse, who's we're still waiting on, would say and knows, is chunked, which means that they are being sauteed, pan-fried to bring out the aroma, to bring out the oils, to bring out the essence. So that has already happened. Here I have onion, garlic, ginger, cumin.
wow.
A lot of good things are going on in my pot right now. And because this is the base of the soup, you don't want to rush it, because
Right.
this is where most of the flavor and richness and depth of the soup is going to come from. So you really want to take your time, because once you add that liquid, no more deepening is going to occur. So if it's plain right now and I add liquid, it's going to be totally tasteless. So we're heating this up, we're getting it right. And while I do that, I also have here on this back burner here, which you can't quite see, but I have some milk already bubbling.
Any kind of any particular milk?
I'm actually using almond milk because this is, like I said, a vegan feast. And I use almond milk naturally anyway in my life because I'm lactose intolerant. So I quite enjoy the dairy-free milk alternatives that are across the market right now. And I actually prefer almond milk to soy milk. And so I think it's a wonderful alternative. If you can't tolerate soy, a lot of people have soy intolerance. Almond milk is a wonderful equivalent or replacement.
What about bean curd? Is that a good substitute also? Alternative, I should
soy
say.
milk is from the soybean, so the bean curd is more like tofu and soft tofu. But you can also use goat's milk. Goat's milk, if you're lactose intolerant, goats don't have lactose. And there's also rice milk. But rice milk tends to be thinner, so you're not going to get as luxurious a feel for a pudding if you're going to use rice milk.
Okay.
So here I have
How about coconut milk? Sarina, could you use that?
coconut milk.
Yeah, my
Yeah,
favorite.
that'd be wonderful. In this pudding, coconut milk would work wonderfully. You always have to be sure that the flavors will complement because coconut is such a strong flavor.
Right.
But fortunately, there are not many things coconut clashes with. So you're pretty safe with coconut milk as well as an alternative. So here I have a third cup of jasmine rice, which I've soaked for 2 hours. And that's what I'm going to add into 4 cups of boiling almond milk, which I'll show you all in a little bit. And that's going to cook during much of this show. And that's what's going to thicken. It's going to expand in volume. And that's going to be the body of our rice pudding.
So you said it's two cups of rice that you cooked for 2 hours.
1/3 cup of rice that I soaked.
Okay.
That I soaked.
You soaked.
Yeah, that gets it, ready to cook relatively quickly because it's already softened from the pre-soaking. So that's in that pot right now. Ooh, a bit of noise there.
That's
and now into my soup pot.
You can't be in the kitchen without noise,
Marilyn is well aware of my predilection to freezing beans beforehand, and that's something I'm never going to get tired of talking about. So here I have my lentils, which are already proportioned into my Ziploc bags and have thawed out. So we're using 2 cups of lentils. Such a time saver. You just make up a pot of beans, a big pot of beans on a Sunday. You continue doing your errands, lying down, whatever. They don't need any monitoring. And then you just drain them and, portion them into Ziploc bags. I know Collis is always looking for some food shortcuts. So I hope you're listening and making note of that.
Yes, I am.
It's a very good way to just be able to go into your freezer and have a meal in a jiffy. You have those beans pre-prepared, and it's cheaper than buying tins.
Oh yeah, and it's much healthier for you too. Anyway.
Much healthier.
Yeah.
So I'm turning up the heat just a little bit because I want to get that pan fry continuing on this.
Well, pot cam is looking very good at this point.
Thank you.
So every time you cook, I get angry because I can't smell the food, I can't taste the food.
It's smelling really good.
And everybody says the same thing. They say, man, when that lady cooks, I just want to lick the screen. Okay,
so
go ahead.
What I'm going to add here, I'm sure for Larry, this is probably going to be like, oh, okay, I see what she did there. I've diced up some eddos and some plantain.
Oh, God.
You see?
You're talking my song there.
We've lost him now. He's dived into the monitor. I've diced up some eddos and some plantain, and that is going to add body and sweetness to the soup. With the sweetness of the plantain and the starch of the eddos. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about those because I'm sure that's a foreign ingredient to
right.
But all of that is mixing up right now with the spices and the pan frying a little bit because I've turned up the heat because I want to get again the flavors of these ingredients intensified before I add any liquid because once you add the liquid, that stops.
That's it. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So plantain here, as you can see, it looks like a banana, but it's much bigger, and it's much starchier than a banana, and it lends itself very well to both savory and desserts dishes. So it's a wonderful thing to use if you want to add a little touch of sweetness to a soup. Instead of using, say, for example, apples or raisins, you can just dice up some plantain, and it adds a nice level of sweetness to the soup that's unexpected. And I also have here the eddo, because I did a post about provisions about a week or 2 ago, and somebody on Google Plus asked, what are provisions? And I realized, okay, I'm talking in Trini parlance again. Yeah, they were like, what are provisions? And I was like, oh, okay, provisions is our general term for root vegetables, for tubers. Anything that can be prepared like a potato would be prepared. So, and we have quite a few here. So eddos.
Eddos makes me a nice porridge.
Is that?
Okay. For those in the US, I think that is part of the taro family.
Yes, it is. Sometimes you see it called tania, but I'm not sure. I say eddos. I wouldn't know too much about the alternatives.
The taro is found mostly in Hawaii, for the United States, because they grow it there, dashin, as we call it here in Trinidad, which is part of the taro family. Edos is also part of that family.
And Edo is like a smaller dashin. I like to use smaller ones. And it has like a hairy, fibrous exterior. That's kind of what you're seeing. So it kind of looks like a little Ewok.
Yeah.
And
then the dashin is Chewbacca, or the
dashin
taro.
is Chewbacca, and the Edos are Ewoks. So that's what I'm using here. If you can't get Edos, you can use potatoes, but you're going to get a slightly different taste because Edos do have a flavor. Hard to describe, but they have a flavor of their own.
It is a real earthy, nice flavor. I mean, Edos will make any dish that you add in it to taste so good.
So I'm going to turn up the heat now, turning it up to high. And I'm adding 8 cups of vegetable broth, because I think we're good to go for now.
Yeah.
Ooh, hear that? Ooh la la. There we go. And of course, wouldn't be Trini if I didn't drop in one of these at this point.
Yeah.
He's lived down here long enough. He knows what's going on right now.
Yes.
And that's a Scotch bonnet pepper, for those of you who are not aware. And it's really hot, it's really spicy, but we're using it for its flavor and just a touch of its heat. We're not cutting it open, we're just putting it in the pot.
Sarina, I just looked at it and my face started burning.
So that's what's going to go into our pot, and I'm going to cover that. And we're going to let that simmer for 30 minutes, just like we are letting our rice pudding simmer. So I'm going to bring this up to a boil, then I'm going to lower it. So let me put that onto this back burner here. We'll start our potatoes.
Okay, now we get skillet can.
Yeah, another one. So no oven work today. Everything is on the oven.
I was about to ask you if you're putting anything in the oven tonight, but
the only thing in the oven is the roti, and that's just there to stay warm and ready. So I have my oil starting up. The pan is already heated because I preheated it while I was on this burner. Cheating. And I'm going to drop some cumin seeds here, what we also call jeera here in Trinidad. And as you can see, they're starting to sizzle already. And I don't want them to darken. I'm just looking to get that sizzle and start to smell it. You're hearing it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're definitely hearing it. Now I'm going to add in my garlic and my cumin and my curry powder. Again, because this is for a salad, I'm not trying to make the flavors too intense. I just wanted to complement the curry flavors of the soup as well. So I'm mirroring it, but I don't want to like compete with it because, you know, it's the salad, it's the starter course. Really hit them with the soup, but introduce them and warm them with the salad.
Yeah, nice.
So you just like juke you a little bit. The taste just juke you in your mouth.
It's just a mild juke.
Notice what Ferenc said. He said juke, like a Trini.
Oh, he said juke.
Yeah, he said
juke. A mild juke. A mild juke.
For those who wondering what a juke is like a prick. You know, you stick somebody with something.
And now here I have 2 potatoes that I cubed and boiled, and then put in the fridge to cool down so that they would coalesce again, you know, get hard and firm again, because we're going to pan fry them. If we put them in hot, they would just break up, they would continue to cook. So by bringing them back to a cold temperature, we can stir the edges and they'll hold their shape. So don't miss that cooling down stage. And as you can see, the spices are coating the potato.
They start to mix up with everybody in the pool.
Exactly.
I'm getting hungry.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why some people say they have to eat before they watch.
Exactly, and eat after. Sarina, that is a good tip though. What you just gave there regarding you know, putting the ingredients into the saucepan so they wouldn't break up. You know.
Right, at cold.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a very good tip.
So I'm just again, this is kind of like what I like to do, my little sit and wait dishes, because you don't want to be, frantic and this is burning and that is about to be taken off. You want to be relaxed while you're cooking and feeling like you're in charge, that the dishes aren't managing you. So,
Yeah.
so this is just a dish right now that I don't really have to do much more with. I'm just watching to make sure that they don't stick to the pan. I'm using a non-stick pan. And I'm just turning them every now and again to make sure that they fry all around. And that'll take another 10 minutes or so. And while that's happening, I thought I would show you all a little bit of the paratha roti that Larry thinks I bought. No, I'm just kidding.
Truth be told, she did cook it. She did make it, I should say.
I heard in Trinidad, if a woman can make roti, you marry her straight
You
away.
marry her right away. Do not hesitate.
But I decided to make it because, QD had it with that wonderful Jira chicken last week on last week's show. And because I was making curry, I decided that I would make some. Can you see it, Larry? Camera to use. Let me use this one.
Yeah, you gotta. Oh wow, yes.
Yeah.
You made that.
Yeah, I did.
That looks store bought. That looks real good.
And I want to show you like what makes paratha unique is, let me find an example, is it's rolled in layers so you can actually peel it apart and it shreds like that. And that's why we call it bus-up shot.
Yeah.
Because it looks like shredded cloth. It falls apart into these little pieces and flakes because there are layers of butter or margarine or oil, depending on how you're making it. I used margarine in this one, between the flour. So it's almost like a croissant or a puff pastry, and that shreds, and we beat it with sticks, dabblers, and that breaks it up. If you can imagine if you were stomping on a croissant, what would happen to it? Yeah. That's what bus-up shot's very similar to in technique. So that's what I have in the oven to eat it with.
That's a good explanation. Actually, on my Super Bowl special coming up this Sunday, the Jira the Jira wings that I'm doing, I call for people to they could put it over. You could have it with some rice or bus up shot.
Right, exactly. So I was thinking while my potatoes continue to fry away, we could turn the attention now to the man of the hour, Mr. Collis Duranty. A singer who's really caught my mind and my imagination, and I know that of a lot of people in Trinidad, with his music, very soulful, very conscious, very inspirational and uplifting. So, want to tell the world hi, Collis?
Hi, good evening each and everyone.
When's the album coming out?
Well, I will say very soon. Very soon. It wouldn't be 2 months. But I can't give a target date, but it's very soon. We're just in the final stages of everything, and it's looking very good, very promising so far. So, yeah, I can safely say within 2 months, we're going to have a Collis Duranty album out there that everyone can enjoy.
That's wonderful. And what I'm really even more excited to say is Collis is going to debut one of the tracks from the album right now, Riverstone, which I think is really moving and touching. I got to hear some of the tracks on Sunday when we were doing the rehearsal, and I really think you all are going to love the album, especially if you love world music. There are a lot of world music elements in his songs. It's not any one genre. So take it away, Riverstone.
All right.
And everybody mute.
Yeah, everybody mute please.
I can remember around 8 or older, when I was getting bolder and life was weighing on my shoulders. I remember time when mama used to scold us, all the ways that she tried to mold us, and all the good stories that she told us. And I remember times we spent, those days I know, the things that made us stronger. Now I've become a man, and now I'm able to understand. When mama used to say to me, son, you live good, cause on that day when you're coming home, she be waiting at the river stone, waiting at the river stone. She be waiting by the river stone, on them good old banks of Jordan. She be waiting at the river stone, waiting at the river stone. She be waiting at the river stone, waiting for me to come home. I can remember Sundays at the market, mama with that heavy basket. I thought about this looking in a casket. I remember time, oh, as she gave the best for us, just to hide the pain and to save the pain for us. I remember times we spent, those days I know, the things that made me stronger. Now I've become a man, and now I'm able to understand. When mama used to say to me, son, you live good, cause on that day when you're coming home, she be waiting at the river stone, waiting by the river stone. She be waiting at the river stone, on them good old banks of Jordan. She be waiting at the river stone, waiting by the river stone. She be waiting at the river stone, waiting for me to come home, yeah. Oh yeah. Da 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 da. Yeah. Hey, yeah, yeah. So she be waiting at the river stone, yeah. Waiting by the river stone. She be waiting at the river stone, on them good old banks of Jordan. She be waiting at the river stone, waiting by the river stone. She be waiting at the river stone. One day when I get home, the river stone, yeah. Waiting by the river stone, yeah. Waiting by the river stone, yeah. To see my mama there, waiting by the river stone, and see my papa there, the river stone, yeah. Oh yeah. Waiting by the river stone, yeah. Waiting by the river stone, yeah. She be waiting by the river stone, on them good old banks of Jordan. She be waiting by the river stone, waiting by the river stone, waiting by the river stone. One day when I get home, yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Waiting by the river, yeah. Stone. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
Thanks a lot, man.
Love it. Love it. I love that
So,
song.
Yeah, right.
If you want to know more about Collis, go to collisduranty.com. That's COLLISDURANTY.com. So you can learn more about him and his music.
Yeah. CollisDurante.com. I like that.
CollisDurante.com.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. So while that was going, my potatoes finished quite nicely, and they're cooling right now.
Let me see it. Let me see it.
Yeah, trying to find out where the
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Right.
Oh, there
I
you
hope.
go.
Uh-huh.
Right
Uh-huh.
there. They're cooling.
Nice. It look good.
Yeah, and the spices, as you can see, they crust onto the potato.
Yeah. Oh, yes. That's a
Very
good
well.
shot. That's a good shot. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. And that's going to give you those bursts of flavor in salads, because there's nothing I hate more than an insipid salad. You tell people salad, and especially in the West Indies and in Trinidad, they roll their eyes and they groan, and it's like a pill you have to take to get to the food. And that's not my philosophy about salads at all. Salads should have texture, they should have flavor contrast, they should be colorful, and so that's what hopefully the cumin potatoes will do.
Yeah, they should be like Caribbean people, full of
They
color.
should be like Caribbean people. We
Exactly.
should not have salads. So I have my milk and it's still heating up. It's still cooking down. So I've taken the lid off so it starts to evaporate a bit more because it got up to the heat and the rice is soft now. Now we're just reducing.
Nice.
And my soup is still doing its thing, simmering away. So again, very relaxed hour here and I'm still getting 3 things done. So I was thinking now is a good time as well to turn to the wine, which, but that's when Ferenc's face starts to light up. So,
yeah, I have to start drinking because your cooking is making me hungry.
First of all, because wine is something I wanted to bring into the show. I will still make some drinks, but wine is something that has confused and fascinated me for a really long time, and I'm not very knowledgeable about it. So year after year, I say, this is the year I'm going to learn about wine, and I never do. I try to read some things, it never sticks. So I said, I have to get in there, and I just have to start trying. I have to be making mistakes. I have to learn more. I took a wine tasting class last weekend, actually. So I didn't tell you about that yet, but I'm going to tell you offline a little while later. It was very fascinating. And so I decided I'm going to pair this meal with a particular white wine. I don't know if I did a good job, but from what I heard, it's supposed to be good with spicy flavors. So it's from Concho y Toro. It's a Chardonnay blend. So I'm gonna have Ferenc tell me if I sucked,
Is that
as well to make his recommendations and suggestions.
Okay, that's a grape. Chardonnay is a grape. Don't get confused.
Okay. So I did okay for my first attempt at my own pairing.
Chardonnay is a grape. It's one of the most common grape to produce in wine. Fortunately, here in Europe, it's getting hated because it's a fashion now to hate Chardonnay.
Right.
For its common taste, but Chardonnay is the grape that can be paired with loads of food. Chardonnay is also a grape that can make lots of different type of wines, from dry, light-bodied to medium or heavier oaky white wines. Now it depends on the way you hold to make the wine. Chardonnay is a wine can go well with Caribbean cooking because of the way how you make it. Yes. Yes. Now, personally, I would for curry and jeera, I would pick something like Moscato. It's also really fashionable now in the United States, but Moscato is one of the oldest grapes, and it's produced extremely floral, extremely aromatic, characteristic grape. What is like your cooking, just like you people in the Caribbean. It's really complex, as mixed, just like the woman. It's you have to taste them, and a lifetime never gonna be enough for you to understand. But
I like that.
I like that analogy.
But if you pick the good Chardonnay with a little bit of oaky, for example, with batonnage, what is making up that they're stirring up in the on the lees, what they leaving in the cask, that can give a little bit of creaminess to the wine. So that can handle the cumin, the jeera, that can handle the curry. And if it's a good year, you said, where is it from originally?
It's a Concho y Toro.
I think that's a Chilean. That's a Chilean wine.
Yeah.
Sorry, I couldn't hear it.
Chilean.
From Chile?
Chilean is fantastic because what is from Chile? It's a new red wine. It's the weather condition. It's different. You need the terroir of the French people trying to push the French winemakers. I mean, Chile is perfectly working out because they get excellent soil, excellent weather conditions,
right?
And you had the heat in there, so the grape developing a really fruity, tropical fruity characters. What can go greatly with the salad, because that's another thing. You bought a bottle of wine and you cooked a meal. So you want to enjoy that wine with the meals. Now,
one of the things that I loved about Ferenc since he reached out to me, which has been a few months now, since last year actually, is his outlook towards wine. Because I know here in the Caribbean we tend to be intimidated by wine. It's really now coming into its own here in terms of people wanting to learn more and being able to converse about it, is that he brings it into the local parlance. He's very interested in pairing it with our day-to-day food rather than taking the wine and saying, oh, you have to prepare these dishes to eat with this wine. He's interested in being able to show us, how to pair it with a doubles, how to pair it with a palau, how to pair it with oxtail, and that is how I think wine needs to be understood. It's not something remote just for the restaurant. Let's start and try to understand it. So I'm hoping that I can bring a bit of that element where we can have some unexpected things, that foods like curry lentil soup that we may not think of as wine friendly. And what is that?
And this one is coming to Trinidad, and we're gonna taste it. Hopefully next live on show from my hometown.
Nice.
Wonderful! I can't wait to try those Hungarians.
I have a wine tasting.
Hungarian wines.
Number one. I
looked here just now when I said.
I have a wine tasting.
It is from Tokai too.
What?
I have every day. I'm working in the wine business. I'm whining every day. Just like Italy.
I would love that job.
He's whining every day like a Trini.
That's why he fits into the culture.
Yeah.
That's why he fits in. So my rice pudding.
Yeah, collected a couple of.
Sorry.
Go on. I just wanted to say that I picked some wines for the today cooking, and I emailed you the pictures. I already emailed you the pictures, with a little bit of tasting notes, so you can attach to this show.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
So let me get back to my rice pudding because it's thickening up a little bit. And again, if anybody in here had any questions about wine, feel free to ask, because I am learning a lot.
Especially from Tokai.
Yeah, I have a wine tasting every weekend.
Oh, okay.
At home.
Okay.
At home.
Then I'd be afraid to ask. So I have a mixture here of sugar, Angostura bitters, cardamom, ground cardamom, and raisins. And there's a little bit of lime zest in here as well to brighten the flavors. I always like to put a little bit of acidity into things. It's the quick way to just brighten everything up and give it an extra zing, so to speak. So that's going to go into this right now.
Nice.
Yeah.
So Sarina, let's talk about the rice. You soaked it, meaning you just soaked it in water. You didn't cook it. You just let it absorb
just
water.
in a little bowl and covered to just maybe a little bit above the surface of the rice and just left there for 2 hours.
And is this so that it will plump enough, yet it won't suck all the moisture out of the milk, because the milk just isn't enough moisture to really cook it all the way through? I mean, I know it cooks all the way through.
That's a good idea. I mean, that's partly it, but it's also to speed up the cooking process because the rice grains will have absorbed the water, and so they'll be more. They will have already started to soften rather than for them to dry. Yeah, and because we're cooking it kind of long and slow, and we want the starches to be released from the rice so that the pudding thickens. The pre-soaking helps that to happen as well, rather than we would just be making rice. If we put it in dry, we just cook as rice. So it's starting to soften, it's starting to dissolve the starches already. So that happens much quicker.
Good.
Okay,
Excellent.
so we're doing that. Our soup is still bubbling very nicely, and while this continues to cook down, I'm going to assemble the salad. As we're ready for that, let me see which camera's better. So here, I'm going to start with a bed of spinach. I love spinach. I can never have too much spinach. And I love the baby leaf spinach that we get in the supermarkets here. I know to the Americans it's probably very ho-hum, but we didn't used to have this as much. And now it's abundantly available, so I just love that. To just have a bed of your spinach, get your greens on. I'm a big believer in greens and raw greens. Then let me get my orange segments.
I love spinach in a bag. It makes me eat I eat so much more because otherwise, think of the old days of having to soak it with all the sand
Exactly.
in it. So now it's so convenient. I throw it in everything. So I totally love a bag of spinach.
Exactly. So here I have my mandarin orange segments. So it's looking pretty already, and we got the
Nice.
sweet with the herby, vegetable, the green grass.
Savory.
Again, I like to counter it, and now we have the seasoning of the potatoes. So I'm just going to pile those in the middle.
which has cumin in it, and ground cumin and
ginger.
yeah.
All that's going to play off the citrus elements as well. So ginger and citrus, they're just good friends. They're good to go.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, that's nice. That's real nice. Real nice.
so that's
Real
the
nice.
salad there, and then the final touch is the mango chutney dressing. So that is literally mango chutney with a little bit of olive oil, a little bit of sugar added, just to sweeten it up, and some lime juice as well to, again, bring out some of that acidity, because we're not looking to have a dessert. We want the sweetness there, but it is a
Right.
salad.
And you're making the rice on this with the milk, so that's gonna be a little sweet. Yeah.
Exactly. So we're with the plantain in the soup.
Right. Yeah.
Kind of have strains of sweetness throughout, but varying how dominant the sweetness is. It's going to be strongest in the dessert.
Where it should be.
Salad,
Yeah.
and then a little muted in the
Yeah.
soup.
Yeah.
So that's the finished dressed salad there.
Nice. That looks great.
Yeah.
That looks fantastic.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
Let me just put that aside.
I should come down for dinner after the show.
I'm thinking the same way.
I'm surprised you aren't there.
Living far away.
Larry, really?
I should do the show from down Sarina's house.
So my soup is still bubbling. I have my salad. The soup is almost ready, but it's not quite ready yet. So while I continue to wait, I think we can go on to the second song from Collis, and it's one of my favorites. It's one of the first ones I heard, and the one that made me a fan. He didn't know I was a raving fan till I wrote him, but I became a raving fan of this song, and so I shared the video for this earlier today. But for those who either loved it and wondered if they'd hear it live, the fans that are watching, and those of you who probably don't know what I'm talking about, it's song.
All right.
Yeah.
Every-
Then a little story
Everyone
behind
that knew. Everyone that knew.
Say something? Sorry?
No, I was just wondering, did anything motivate you to write this song in particular? Because I just love the lyrics.
Well, this song, it's called Earth Song, really. It was done in Guyana. The video, the video was done in Guyana. Well, for reasons really to kind of, show a vast landscape, because, Guyana is on a continent, and, we went down to the Essequibo River and all that, and we tried to show a lot of the indigenous faces and that kind of stuff to kind of captivate, what we're really trying to say in the song, to kind of bring back that kind of richness to life, where the earth now is being, well, I would say mistreated by some, and, well, I guess the song will say the rest by itself.
Okay,
Yeah, let's go.
let's go.
Oh yes, oh yeah, yeah. Whoa, whoa. All right. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Listen now. Great rains have fallen on many nations. Yeah. Famines and droughts we've been through. For centuries lives have been lost by the millions, yeah. And today the only difference is you. Only you, man of yesterday and tomorrow. You woman of creation, where is your word? Now could we ever rise up and give this earth a chance to smile again? Yeah. And in the moon you'll see her face. when she's singing out la 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 la. Yeah, yeah. La 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 la. Yeah. La 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 la. Hear me now. La 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 la. Yeah. Our bees are leaving with their honey now. Hey, and I wonder if you don't see. Hey, nature has already begun to launch its attack. So maybe we'll soon lose all our rivers and seas. Hey, you men of Cairo, Nairobi, Addis Ababa warriors, Mama Soweto, I hear your cry. Now could we ever rise up and give this earth a chance to smile again? So in the moon you'll see her face when she's singing out la 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 la. La 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 la. Very easy to sing along. La 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 la. Yeah, yeah. La 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 la. The kind of music the group do when they're cooking in the kitchen. La 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 la. Yeah, yeah. La 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 la. You can even sip a little wine and listen to some music like this. La 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 la. Yeah, yeah. La 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 la. Alright, I'm doing this like if I'm live on stage. Let me see some waving, everybody. Come on. La 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 la. La 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 la. Yeah. La la beautiful. La 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 la. Yeah, yeah. La 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 la. Thank you very much. La 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 la. Yeah, yeah. La 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 la. Yeah, man.
Awesome. Very nice.
La 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 la. I love that song.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
Radio hit.
Yes, you can check out
Radio hit.
You can check out the video on YouTube, of course, and as Sarina said earlier, it's www.collisduranty.com, and you can stay tuned. You can get me on Facebook also, Twitter. So yeah, stay tuned. You know, and
Back if you tweet him.
Yeah, yeah.
right.
I definitely had you.
He's
Nice.
checks his phone.
Yeah.
Right.
Great job, Collis. Great job.
Thanks a lot, man. Thanks for having me.
Yes, your G Plus debut.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna steal him for the pub next.
Yeah.
All right. Good.
It'd be great for the pub.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have my rice bubbling. It's been reduced. It's thickening now. I don't want it to, like if I show it to you right now, you'll see it's still quite runny. But that's okay because as it cools and sits, the rice is going to continue to absorb. So I don't want it at this stage to look as if I can see the grains and if the grains can stick together, because that means that when it cools, it's just going to be a lump and it's going to be dry, and that's not what we want to feel. Yeah, you don't want lumps of rice.
What a lump.
Yeah, no lumpy rice.
That's not creamy pudding. So you want it to still be at this, watery consistency, but where the liquid and the rice are at the same level, in the pot, because it, like I said, it's going to continue to soak in. So what I'm going to add now, I'm going to put in some slivered almonds. Love almonds. I never know which camera to point at.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, right.
Yeah. So I'm putting in the almonds, and I'm putting in it's about a cup. No, it's about a half cup of desiccated coconut, which is one of my weaknesses when it comes to ingredients, especially for desserts. Julia's coconut milk, I'm desiccated coconut.
Well, I'm both. I'm all about coconut in any form. I love it.
Yeah, so we're
It's
putting
so rich and delicious,
Definitely. Where's my spoon? Here it is. So I'm mixing in and all of these little additions help to thicken the pudding as well. So now the coconut is in there, the almonds are in there. It has a little more body now, and it's going to continue to thicken as it sets. So I'm just going to leave that there. The rice pudding is, for all effects, done at this point. So I'm taking it off the heat to just continue to sit and cool till we plate that. And now I'm just going to move over my soup so you all can see where it's.
Yeah, let's see how that soup looking.
See that soup? See how the soup was just taking its time. It wasn't bothering with us while we were doing a million other things.
And it has thickened up nicely.
It has. Whoa! Okay, my light just fell.
Oh.
Jason will tend to that. This is live.
Yeah.
Live stuff going on here.
And
So
that live pot is looking very good.
So you can see here.
Look at the plantain. You can see the.
Yes, and it's very spicy because of that Scotch bonnet, which has disappeared somewhere underneath stuff. So I don't want to break it.
You have to find it.
So you know what happens when you break that?
Yeah.
Oh, light, we're back. We're not back? Okay. So basically what I'm doing at this point is I'm just cooking the liquid down a little bit. Again, just like with the rice pudding, it's going to thicken as it cools because of the starch of the rice, the starch of the eddos. So don't worry if it looks a little watery while it's hot. As it cools, it's going to thicken, it's going to be thicker. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to plate some right now because it is ready. So I'm just going to put some in the bowl with the paratha, which is what I'm serving it along with.
That's how I like to eat my soup, with a little bit more liquid.
Right.
Yeah, just how you have it is just exactly how I like to have my soup.
That's good to go?
Yeah, that's good to go. Yeah.
Right. So here we have the soup, the curry lentil soup with the paratha roti. Let me see if this camera will do
Yeah,
it.
you can hold it up to you.
I don't want to spill the
Oh, right. Okay, right.
Good. So
All right.
Let me try.
Okay.
Can you see that? No.
Yeah, we can see it. Yeah, just hold it right there.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. But once you take your shots and you load it up, it'll, everybody will get a nice perspective. Oh, yeah, that looks good.
The soup, I can also put it down here. Yeah. You can see some of the roti, some of the soup.
Yeah.
And the soup and the roti here to serve together. And the rest of the soup continues to just bubble a little more. And now I'm going to plate up show you how to dress up and when the soup is done, I'm actually going to put just a dash of lime juice and then chop up some shadow benny on the top just for that final burst of flavor. That's the culantro. So I'll probably demonstrate that. I can demonstrate that right now.
Yeah, that doesn't take long.
Sorry?
That doesn't take long, just...
No, it doesn't at all. Yeah. So let me just do that. Where's my lime?
That pot bubbling, boy. Looking good.
It's so bubbling.
Yeah.
I feel like I have a hole in my stomach.
I have to dig up for the shadow benny. I know where I put it, but somebody ransacked the fridge and moved it. So I had it at the front, and now I don't know where it is. But I'll go take a look. If not, I'll take a picture. But I'm gonna show you the rice pudding now because you see, it's even just being off the flame, it's already starting to thicken, and you'll see that when as I do that. See.
Oh yeah.
It's already thickened. So even though it looked liquid just a second ago, just being off that active flame, it's starting to cool and thicken and have that pudding-like consistency. You see that there?
And the longer it cools, the thicker it's gonna get.
Exactly. And so how I would serve this is just with a little more coconut on top. Just a thin layer of coconut on top. And kheer can be had at room temperature, but I really like it cold. So, for me, right after this, I'm going to just put it out on a long, flat platter so that it cools down quicker and put that in the fridge because it's really nice when it's ice cold,
I agree.
That brings out the sweetness of the flavors. So you see
I
there?
agree.
Hold up.
Yep.
There it is. The rice pudding. Can you see it?
Yeah. It looks good.
Okay.
And I see the little raisins in it, and yeah.
Yes, the raisins, the cardamom,
Yeah.
the almonds. It's very flavorful.
The cardamom will give it a nice flavor. It gives it I mean, it gives
I
food
love
on a.
cardamom. A lot
Yeah.
of people are finicky about it, so I tend to tone it down in my recipes because I don't want to scare people off with it because it is such an assertive flavor that if you don't like it and there's too much in it, you're going to be turned off the dish one time. So I tend to use a little bit less or sometimes a lot less than traditional recipes just so that people who normally don't like cardamom go, oh, I actually like this. It's like, okay, because I didn't put like 2 tablespoons of it.
Right. It's just a hint.
I
You just
think
get
if
them a
they
little.
don't like cardamom, they just have to walk the plank.
Yeah.
Okay.
I agree with that, Jules.
Yeah, you run a tight ship there.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Right, so my soup is done. Let me just see if I
looks
can
good.
pick up that. I know, right? I just want to garnish that bowl. Let's get that shadow.
But it's bubbling,
Nice.
Found it.
and everybody is salivating.
So again, shadow Benny. This is something that people see in my recipes all the time, and I'm going to keep showing it to you because it's not always known. These are the cilantro leaves, which is the cousin of cilantro, and known as shadow Benny or bandania here in Trinidad. And it's a very rich flavor. It's so bold. It's so fragrant. I don't know how to describe it other than that.
It's
Very green. It's a very intense green flavor.
it's bolder than the cilantro.
Much bolder.
Yeah, you use very little of that as compared if you're using cilantro.
I'm just going to chop some into the top of my soup for garnish because that's also going to add another layer of flavor, another layer of spice to the soup. Not necessarily spice, but just another flavor layer. So that when you get that and you smell it, especially because the aroma of it as it hits the heat, and as you know, you lean in to eat soup, as you get that aroma, that's when the eating process starts. So having those fresh herbs on top of soup, whether it's oregano, whether it's thyme, whether it's basil, always have some fresh herb to put on hot liquid. It'll release the aromatic oils and people's mouths start to water.
And you remember the presentation is important because you start to eat with your eyes first before you put it in your mouth.
Exactly. So my pot is ready. I can turn that off. That's the perfect level now. And I'm done.
Looks delicious.
It does. It looks
I can
really good.
smell it right now. Actually, that's turkey rice soup I'm making.
Yeah, I can smell it.
I can too. Oh my gosh.
Wow, George. So yeah, no, the rice pudding is at the perfect consistency now. Let me see. Let me put down here. No, you can't see that. There
You're
you go.
right. Yeah.
Right there. See, it's got a lot of body. It's dripping off the spoon, but very slowly now. And it's very good to go. So again, don't be afraid. Once it's on the flame, it's going to look like it's too thin. It's going to look like it's watery. It'll thicken almost as soon as you take it off that flame. So as long as the liquid and the rice are at the same level, you can stop.
All right.
Can I say something about to recommending wines with Caribbean food? Guys, don't be afraid to try different wines because these food are really complex, full of flavors, different seasoning that you used to back home in America. I mean, I remember first time when I met with plantain, I was 25 years old. And then I didn't even know if plantain exists. Yeah. But, you have to try different wines, different flavors with Caribbean cooking, I would say you have to go for the complex wines. Because the wine has to be as complex as the food to be able to bear with the flavors, to be able to, to hold something and add something to it. And the Caribbean gastronomy is so rich, so full of flavors that it's perfectly can be meshed with good wines, quality wines, fine wines.
So, Ferenc, would you recommend like a blend?
I would say, well, you can go to like even I would say you can go to France, a good Bordeaux wine from a good year for like 2008, 2009, where the vintage was really good and fruity because of the weather conditions, the hotter year.
Okay.
But to be honest with you, I would go with Caribbean. With the Caribbean dishes, I will go for like Moscato, Viognier, Chenin Blanc, because you need
I
that
love
floral
Chenin Blanc.
fruitiness in your wines. Or go to New World wines, or
New
really
World, yeah.
complex white wines, like for example my Tokai wines, because you need a body, you need something, to be able to bear with the food, with the seasoning, a million places. Like a good Sauterne wine, a good Sauvignon Blanc, for example, from New Zealand, a perfect Sauvignon Blancs can come out with plenty of soup. Actually, I was sipping a Sauvignon Blanc. I think,
Okay.
Sarina's lentil soup.
I'm just
And
showing
the
that
reggae music really mellowed me up.
the Scotch
And
bonnet.
eating
Yeah, you found the pepper. She found
Yes,
the
I
pepper,
found
folks.
it. It gave its life.
Yeah.
You shall
see-
honor it accordingly.
Yeah. Cut it up and have it as a condiment for people who like some heat.
Jason does that.
Right. Yeah. He's a man
That's
after
like
my own
having a
heart.
kiss. That Scotch bonnet is like having a kiss from a dragon. I'm telling you that.
That's a good way to put it.
Like
So just
kiss
putting
of the
last
dragon.
bit of shadow benny onto the top of the soup. The main pot, because I dressed up the little bowl that I plated. And that's it. We're good to go. We have our roti, we have our soup, we have our rice pudding, and a salad.
Nice.
Nice.
Make a sweat.
Very nice. Very nice. Very nice.
Lovely.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Thank you, Sabrina. That looks lovely.
Thank you.
Fabulous.
Okay.
And the recipe is on the event page and on Trini Gourmet. So if you want to make any of these at home, you can. And the link to that will also be put on YouTube. So you can try these recipes at home. I recommend you do.
Yeah. Great. Great. So, Sarina, what you have for us next week? Oh,
Well, next week is my last show before I take a little break for Carnival.
right. Yes.
I'm
Yes.
going to have my good friend, my longtime friend, and Tobagonian-born panist, Wani Perry, in the house. So he is going to be playing us off into Carnival weekend with 2 really awesome tracks. And I'm going to be making that with a little bit of I was thinking of a Caribbean Valentine's menu. So February is going to be all about Valentine menus. So
All right.
next week is the first one, is the kickoff of that Valentine taste-a-thon. And I'm thinking of some combinations that will hopefully surprise you. So
Well, that sounds
I'll
good.
announce that menu next week.
Yeah. Yeah, because Carnival is before Valentine's. So,
Right,
yeah.
and I'm
Nice.
taking that week off, so no Valentine show, but it'll be a pre-Valentine show.
All right, great, nice, lovely, lovely. Okay, folks. Well, there you've had it. Sarina made some wonderful dishes. I guess everybody is hungry right about now.
Yeah, now we've got to go eat.
Yeah, Collis, again, buddy, you
Yeah, man.
performed
Very nice.
brilliantly.
Thanks a lot.
Very, very, very nice performance. And Sarina was also wonderful in the performing in the kitchen.
Of course.
So, as always. So, folks, for Sarina and everybody in the strip, good night from Trinidad and Tobago. And from Sweet Hand Caribbean Cooking with Sarina.
Thank you.